My name is Scott Nicholson. I am a visiting professor here at MIT. Normally I'm over at Syracuse University, and I study games and play and how games change people. And so here at the Game Jam, I'm helping Todd and the folks run it and keep things going. I do a lot of work with board games, the host of Board Games with Scott, and so I'm working with the kids who are making games, helping them connect what they're doing to other games that are out there, because one of the best tips in designing games is to play a lot of games, and so understanding all the games that are out there can be useful. So I've been involved in a number of game jams, and they're best when they draw in people who don't normally make games. When you have people who play games all the time, but they don't think about the game creation process. Creating a game can take a lot of time and can be a lot of hassle. And in a game jam setting, it allows you to really focus on the game, engage with each other, and engage with what it takes to make a game. And what I find is a lot of the people who do these sort of game jams then go away and think about, hey, maybe I could become a game designer. So it really can light the fire for people who have been a hobby gamer for a long time to try something, to try some design. In a way, they get to see the whole project go from start to finish. So it's an exciting, transformative process. So to do a game jam, it's a very easy thing to do. Today we're doing a cardboard game jam, which means we're just having people make board games and card games. The nice thing about that is it doesn't require a lot of money, doesn't require a lot of equipment, or a lot of expertise. All you really need are some index cards, some dice, some movers, and an idea. So the structure, you get people together, you come up with a big topic, you have people brainstorm ideas and then create game ideas. People pitch their ideas, and then everyone selects which games they want to work on, and then they start building and testing the games. And you'll be surprised how quickly people can actually put together games using these little pieces of cardboard and paper. It's about generating ideas and concepts. And so I'd say give it a shot. You can take kids of any ages or families. I've run this sort of event where you have families come together and families make games. I actually did an event a few weeks ago at the MIT Museum where I had families come together and create physical games. So it was called junkyard games, and each table was given a table full of junk, and they had to create a small sporting event that they could do on the tables. They took about an hour to make the games, and then everyone played everyone else's games. So in about 2.5 hours, people got to create games and play games and see the whole playtesting experience, and it got kids and parents and grandparents all playing together. At this point, I haven't seen a game actually go all that way through. It does take a while. With my own board game designs, it takes about 4 years to go from the point of having a game finished and getting to publishers and going through the process of actually being published. So a lot of people don't realize when they walk away today, having done a game in a few hours, that actually to get it out into publication will take many years. So sort of what's gone on with the board game industry is for decades there was not a lot of development in the U.S. side of the board game industry. The mass market games got popular, companies didn't produce many new ones, but there was a lot of interesting development going on overseas. What happened is through the internet and the web, these overseas games from Germany and Europe began to come over and have really sparked a new development in modern board games and different types of board games, things you don't see on the mass market. What you've got going on in the design space today actually are a lot of independent designers and small companies creating games and creating board games in a really vibrant, small market. We call them designer games, and they're kind of like gourmet food, how gourmet food was 10 years ago. That it was out there, it was more expensive, and you had to look for it. And that's how we are today with designer games. You can go to specialty game shops and find a lot of these. It's similar to indie video game development through apps, through how the App Store and Android apps have allowed individuals to be able to create games and get them out there. We're seeing similar things happen in the board game space. There are some resources out there like GameCrafter that allow you to create a game idea, and GameCrafter does the production on demand for it. So we're actually at a point right now where you've got a lot of interesting design going on in the board game space, and it's more robust than what's happening in the large video game houses, where if you look at the top 10 video games, either by sales or popularity, almost every one of them has a number at the end of it. And that sequelitis is a real problem in design in the video game world. And the board game world right now, you don't see a lot of that. There's a nice variety going on in game design. So the designer board game market, what's happening is exciting and interesting, and it's similar to what we see in the app environment. And there's actually even more crossover. In fact, my current development that I'm doing is taking concepts from board games and making an app out of it. We're seeing a lot of crossover between board game concepts and using an app on an iPad or a structure like that in order to explore a face-to-face game experience facilitated by a digital tool.